now, we are going to shake off our day, do a nice little pretend aromatherapy spray. We are going to be here to party ourselves to the end of this International Women's Day. We are going to honor women in print, and we are going to honor Miss Liz Goll Lerner, who is officially now turn your hat over, grab your glasses of wine, do whatever you need to do. I don't care if it's whiskey. I
Stand
personally,
up, sit down.
we got to be friends. Yeah, we got to, if it's whiskey, we got to be friends. If you're drinking whiskey right now, we got to be friends. So let's do it. Let's celebrate Liz. And Liz, I'm going to do this little intro for you. Clearly, you're an international best-selling author. Clearly, you are in collaborations that are best-selling authors. You are also the founder of this incredible institute, this institute that's called Enlightened Communication Through Luminous Living. Does that not sound like yummy? It is yummy. She is a sought-after business coach. She as well, Divorce Will and Thrive. Have you got the book there? Can you show your Divorce Will
Have
and
the
Thrive
book, of
book? That
course.
is, yes, of course. Transformational coach, psychotherapist, and artist. She has interviewed celebrities at the 2025 Emmys Mariana Group Gifting Suite. She will be down at the Oscars next week, and that book and her will be in their own location at the 2026 in September Emmys Gifting Suite for the Emmys week. So let's celebrate Liz, shall we? So let's just do a big round of applause. Let's kick this off. Let's have some conversation, some cheers, some balloons, some hearts, some flowers, all of the things. And I just wanted to ask you, Liz, so I just want to ask you a few questions, give some insight to this book. Not everybody knows it as intimately as I do. What meaning does the book have? Like, what is it about the book? Why did you write this book, and what does reading this book do for people?
So that's a wonderful question. It's a kind of a multiple question, so that's
It
fun.
is.
Um, One of the things that was really striking me that relates to your question is this whole summit has been about presence, communication, vision, creativity, choice. And what I love just showed up this minute was pivoting. And this book is about all of those things because in order to change how you might view, the topic of divorce, people, um, all the air gets sucked out of the room a lot of the time. And this book was written really for the children. It was written because all of my friends who learned I was having a separation party and divorcing differently couldn't even conceive of that. And so it was about healing trauma. It was about helping people do this differently so that they can really envision a life that is joyful, healthy, and not to sound Pollyanna-ish, I'm not saying that it's easy. But I
Mm,
am saying that when people have vision and they make choices about being present and knowing what they want, they can do anything they want differently.
wow. I love that. Divorcing differently. That's
Mhm.
that's a that's a t-shirt. That's definitely a t-shirt. That's a banner. That's a t-shirt. You know
Woo!
what? Honestly, put that on the back of your car with your phone number, and you will be filled. Absolutely. So look at when people think about a book about divorce, they probably think about, oh, I should have read it then. I don't know if I could read it now. I should have given it to my friend. When is the best time to read this book? Because there's a lot about communication in there. Tell us when
Yeah.
people should read it, and why is it not just for the person that's made that decision?
Yeah. So this book is really, if when we focus on the divorce piece, it's for a person in any stage, thinking about it, beginning to think about it, making a plan, who they should contact, what kind of health care they need, all kinds of things like that, financial advice, etc. Um, but really, it's about, as you say, communication. And so this book is really for everyone because it teaches people how to be present in a conversation and how to have an actual, authentic conversation that helps people grow in their relationships. I think the other piece is that when we talk about mindset and mindfulness, there's a whole section on the book with my quantum presence technique, which is all about being present in the moment and understanding how to not let the past or your worries about the future get in the way.
Oh. Well, thank you. I think that's insightful. I also think some people are still, you said something earlier that people are like, oh, I want to know more about that. What do you mean you had a celebration party? What do you mean you had a divorce party? Like, was your ex-husband there? Like, who did you
Yeah, we
invite?
did it
Like,
together. We did it
oh,
together.
they did it together. Okay,
We did
tell,
it
tell, tell.
together.
Who
In
wants to hear
fact,
this?
the ex-husband is one of the endorsements in the book.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
yep.
Stop.
So
Let's hear about this.
So our party, so actually, again, when we women do need to think strategically when we're changing a model, right? Or at any time, but really when you're changing a model, right? So the party had two different reasons. One, we did want to do this together and celebrate the next step, but it was strategic. I wanted everyone in our community, particularly for the well-being of my child, to understand that we were doing this differently and that nobody would ask him uncomfortable questions. No parent wouldn't know which parent to call. We wanted to be invited to the same parties because we had made look, let me tell you guys, I mean, this didn't just happen. This took a lot of work, a lot of mindfulness, a lot of thoughtfulness, a lot of conversations, a lot of figuring out how to do this. And which is why I teach it. But that meant that the invitation alone did what I needed it to do. Because the invitation just said, Liz and Howard have decided to untie the knot, join us for the celebration of the reformation of our family
Mhm.
and the journey ahead. So whether they came to the party or not, they had their marching orders. And all you people who are writers and actors, all of us creatives, we if we don't tell our own story, if we don't write our own story, if we don't speak our own story, people are going to write it for us. And I didn't want anybody writing my story. So we had a party.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. And I loved the reformation, like the
Mhm.
reformation, right?
Yes,
Now,
exactly.
yeah, I'm sure it made it easier, but because you do a celebration party, does that mean that the divorce wasn't difficult, or does it mean that divorce was
No.
okay? Good.
No. I mean, I think so. Here's the deal about that. I had already been coaching people on how to do this better. I tested it out on myself, right? My method.
Mhm.
And what I do think is that it made a difficult situation manageable, better.
Mhm. Mhm.
It made it possible not to go for the bait. It made it possible not to fight. It made it possible to have a conversation that was not emotionally reactive so that we could actually move forward. And I think one of the most important pieces of this, and I think that is important about what everybody has said today, is that if you have a vision and you know what that consists of, then you can create it. And I had a vision that I did not want my child to be stressed in this situation. And so that was, that's
Well,
it. That's it,
that's it.
right? Like
That's
that
it.
vision is what you hold on to get you through, whether it's divorce or something else. If you have a vision, it's your like I keep thinking I live in New York City right now, so I keep thinking about the subway. But it's like you're holding that subway pole when the train is moving, so you know what you're doing. And you have that vision. Every time I would remember my vision, I would step back. I would not respond to any kind of potential argument speech. So
Mhm.
you create it. But no, Deb, it wasn't easy.
Yeah,
Wasn't easy.
yeah. I love the pieces in your book that are strictly about communication.
Mm.
I love those pieces that are about communication. Um, I'm going to ask a question, and then I know there's a couple of people that want to say a few things about you. for
Maybe.
you. How does it feel? Like as an author, one of those things and talk about having visions, what does it feel like to see your book on the shelf?
It feels fabulous. One, because it's great to see it on the shelf, but really because I just want to get this word out.
Mm,
The whole purpose was to help people change a dynamic that is so wounding and horrible, particularly for the children. Um, that my mission when I wrote the book, it was a download, definitely, to write it, and like that, just to do it. And it was really in service because it's just such a tragedy
mhm,
when it
mhm,
doesn't have to be. It just
mhm.
doesn't, it just doesn't have to be. And so when I hear that people like my clients prior to writing the book, but prior to my divorce, who would say, "Oh, divorce can't be anything but a you know what show." And I would sit there and I go, "No, I don't think that's actually true. Why don't we think about that a little bit?" Right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
that they didn't have to have that.
yeah,
And I think that, it is
yeah.
all about communication. And in the book, there's the wrong way and because there is a wrong way and a healthier way to communicate. So there are lots of examples.
Yeah. No matter where you're at, and even if the
Yeah.
even if the doors has been closed for a long time, because sometimes
Yeah.
the divorce happens, but the divorce isn't over. And for
Yes,
sometimes that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 years, no matter if there's like kids or finance or what have you, or
right.
unresolved emotions. Sometimes that divorce lasts for a very long time, even if the papers are signed, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you can de-escalate really toxic communication or negative communication, this is not a book for uh, for
Hmm.
abusive relationships,
Hmm.
but there are lots of other solutions for that
Hmm.
um, situation. But um, you can change how some things play out. And frankly, for probably 6 years after the our actual divorce, I don't think my former husband would have written a endorsement for my book. It takes time for
Takes
these things
time.
to
It takes time.
happen.
Healing takes time. Healing takes time. Healing takes time.
Yeah.
Well, look, I see that Miss Emily Bassett is in the room, and I know that she's a big super fan. So, Emily, would you like to come on and just share a few words? Are you there? Are you unmuted? So I know Desi's just going to be unmuting you. There you
Okay,
go.
yes, I was trying to unmute. Yeah, no, excited to be here supporting Liz and always just good to grab some of those like key reminders of the book. So the book was recommended to me because I'm going into my wedding. So I actually get married in October. So I was kind of the other side of it of let's pre-talk about the marriage breakers and the marriage makers and see what we can do to stay on the right path. And it was super interesting to read. My partner and I are very we're not scared of the word divorce in the sense where we'd rather talk about it and talk about like what would this mean just to have like a plan, even though we have zero intention in that being kind of our end of the story. So we still made jokes like I having the book. He like sent a picture to his friend and was like, I'm playing checkers and she's playing chess, and made some jokes. But it was interesting to be able to talk about it and talk about just the things and specifically like for us, like it's like comments on the tone and the reactivity. Those are just so easy to get into like just to cause problems and just become this really never ending path. So hopefully all of this can help me to go into my marriage in the right spot. But yeah, definitely. And there is a whole chapter, like there's a few chapters where it's literally just about your experience and like your how to ground yourself and things like that. So there's definitely something for everyone in the book. Which is very true. But I did end up sending some to my friends that are going through divorce, and I think like I'm hoping they really have the capacity to take it in, even because they're kind of fresh in it and in that like heightened emotional state. And I just think if you're able to, you know, take some of this stuff in and really digest it in the way I'm able to, because I'm not in that heated emotion, then hopefully it'll help lots of people. So yeah, but
How
loved
great.
it. And yeah,
So glad you passed it on. It's just
oh, for
wonderful.
sure.
And they can call me for coaching.
There you
Exactly.
go, right? I mean, and
Exactly.
that's why, yeah, a lot of us that do coaching and write books because they go together, and some people need to meet you and some people need to read you before they meet you. And all of those things, books are a great way to share the love of our information. So that's awesome. And I see that Melissa is in the house. She's holding up the book. Is that your indication that you want to talk, honey? You've got the mic. You're like, excuse me, I've got the book. I have a few things to say.
All right. Well, before I choose you, Liz, and who you are as a human and an author, cheers to International Women's Day and for all you beautiful souls that showed up, stood up, spoke up. Cheers. I am in
Cheers.
awe of all of you, but I am most certainly in awe of Miss Goll Lerner. I love you and cherish you. First of all, for the author that you are, the transformational coach that you are, the human that you are. I want to share our journey a little bit because I met Liz last August at the fashion show. And I literally got 2 seconds. Hi, Liz, I'm Melissa. Oh, hi, Melissa. Nice to meet you. I got a jet because I'm about to go pack up and fly to the Alps to hike with my son for my birthday. And literally in that moment, you were like my idol. I just knew instinctively I need to get to know this woman on a much more connected personal level. And that we did when we met again a month later at the Emmys. And we had a truly synergetic experience doing the Emmys together. And then we really got to spend some time together where I feel our conversation grew quickly and meaningful and it connected on a mutual respect and encouragement and support as authors. You have been so supportive of me, and I am trying to be so supportive of you, but you just make it so effortless, like incredible author. I am blessed to have experienced a little bit of your quantum technique, and that is transformational. Everything that you do, Liz, it's transformational. The vision in your book, and that's what it is vision, 110%, and communication. It is transformational. You're an incredible coach, incredible psychotherapist, an incredible friend. And you know me, I view all authors as thought leaders, and I view you as a thought leader. But I view everything that you do as a thought leader. Everything that you do is a vision and a download, and you take it and you create. That is powerful, powerful work to help and serve others. Your therapy technique that I was so blessed to try with you, it impacted my life. And you did that from a place of love, like just as an amazing human that you are. But I could go on forever and I will rave on about your book. It really comes from a place of love and vision, and I'm so honored to speak at your book launch. Like I've been waiting for this all day, and I want to leave you with this note. My vision through my divorce was to have a divorce like you did, and it started out that way. Unfortunately, it went very, very sideways very quickly for a long time. And I stayed true to the vision in myself and
Mhm.
didn't, engage. I was just having a conversation with my ex-husband. It's been 10 years and not about the book. And he said to me, and I almost fell off my chair. It was my ex-husband. He said, "We made it, Mal. We did it. We got back to our vision and our purpose of our divorce. And we're raising men and humans, and we're raising great kids, and we're communicating, and our kids see that and they feel that." I wish it could have been 10 years ago. It wasn't. It was our journey, but it's happening now. And like to have a book like this post marriage, like Emily said, and after marriage, breakdown, super, super important.
Mhm.
So thank you for bringing your vision into every fabric of your being, Liz. I
Thank
love
you.
you.
I love you too.
Oh, these book launches always. Has there been a book launch ever happened that I haven't cried or that we haven't had tears in the room? I can't do it. People say to me, "What's it like to do a book launch?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to tell you about the crying part till you get there."
But you know what? I just want to say one thing about what Melissa said. I mean, I would like to say a lot of things, but I know we don't have much time. But the point of you, Melissa, doing it yourself, the other person doesn't have to cooperate because whatever you do changes. It's like a still pond. If you throw that pebble in, the ripples make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So thank you for all those beautiful things that you said. And Emily, thank you as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Liz, as we wrap up and we have a couple of minutes left, is there anyone here that I've missed? I don't
I
think
don't think
so.
so. I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay. Now look, Liz is going to put the book, you know what it is, Divorce Well and Thrive. You can go onto Amazon, you can get it. I'm sure the link is going to go into the chat. Is there anyone here that would like to say anything before we go back to Liz and let her wrap up her book launch? All right, Carol. So Desi, can you undo Carol and then Stacy? And then we'll let Liz wrap up her party here. So it'll just take a minute.
I'll just throw out, I've read the book, got it as soon as I heard about it. Liz is so authentic, and I believe that it's a way to address many relationships, not just marriages. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, Liz, and congratulations on the launch. And very cool. Just everyone should read it. It's fabulous.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks. And Stacy, Desi, can you unlock Stacy?
I'm gonna say, I'm everybody else got to have it first. I'm a little behind, but I was gonna say, Liz, based on how I've gotten to know you, what everybody has said, I'm gonna again copy Carol. For you, being an author, I know how difficult it is to get sometimes words on a page, but for you to be able to delve deep into such a personal
Mm.
topic,
Mhm.
and for your husband to embrace eventually
Mhm.
to the point of endorsing it,
Yeah.
then yes, it has to be about communication, about relationship, about reforming
Mhm.
at a my thing is always about vibration. Like taking something that maybe started at a low vibration or was fine, but then the two wind up being at a different energy together. But then finding a way back to be able to create cohesiveness for the children, which
Mhm.
creates cohesiveness for society.
Right. Right.
That I very much want to read your book to be able to take the tools and use it in, I mean, knock on wood, I don't see my husband and I going that road. We had a chance a number of years ago. I think we found our way back. But keeping it about you, I bet that there's a way that you could like a sequel that is about the same principles, but for healing all relationships.
Yeah. It's actually very, very true what you're saying that um, this book is about healing. It's about any kind of relationship. And it's I don't know how to say it exactly, but because I'm trying to get the link. But it's this is a universal book, right? It's not just a divorce book. Um, that was the download, that was the channeling, that was the, you know, you must do it. Um,
Mhm.
Here, Stacy, thank you. Um, but it's really like, and the other piece to that is that the theme of the book and the technique in the book is goes through all of my work because it's really about that. It's really about how do you come into your own true alignment and how do you connect, on a soul level and a physical level to your place on this earth and your purpose, and how do you do that within your life and all relationships. And this was just the vehicle, right? The
Wow.
vehicle to help people understand it in the most critical way.
Wow.
So thank you
Well,
for your share.
let's do a round of applause and hearts and claps and all of it. I think that everyone has shared such a beautiful aspect. I can tell you, as someone who gets to spend a lot of time with this woman, right? I get to spend a lot, and I think that's very true. I get to. I mean, what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing when we think about how sometimes we're doing business with someone, we end up the best of friends.
Mhm.
And we get to share. And I'm telling you, every conversation we have is about the betterment of people. Every conversation we have is about how can we get this work out to more people. Every brave thing that this woman has done. And let me tell you, from the time I met her to the time now, there has been multi changes, multi jumping off cliffs, multi putting the cart before the horse, I mean, all of a sudden I get this text going, I'm hanging out with, Heather in New York, and I'm going to do a table. Like, she's like taking the lead. She's just telling me what I need to do now instead of vice versa. Right. So, right. It's really flipped on its head. But, as someone who believes in all the availability for women on this special day, I think what an incredible time to choose to do your book launch. Like, that was completely divine, because
Yeah.
this book, as we can obviously hear, is empowering before, during, and after. And I think it's such a critical piece. It's such a critical piece. Now, I know we're wrapping up, but I see that Penny has just popped on here. Penny, we're wrapping up the party. And so without letting Liz say, I love you back, I know you do, I'm going to hop over to Penny. And Penny, we're just wrapping up. If you'd like to say a few words, if we can unmute you, Desi will unmute you in just a minute here, and talk about how rock and roll Liz is. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh, sure. So I've known Liz for a ridiculous amount of time, like, I don't know, 25 years maybe. And she's
Yeah, more.
more, don't say that. So sorry I'm popping in late. Dinner took longer than expected, but anyway, I've watched her work on her life and do amazing things and just be an amazing friend and a real help to me when I was going through some pretty hard times. And with my kids and my late husband and moving forward into my new life, and she's amazing. So her book, I'm not getting divorced, but I'm getting married, but it's still a great book to just to help you with communication in any relationship. So I'm glad I was able to get on fast enough to say how much I love you, Liz. And
I love
I
it.
hope this book does wonderful, wonderful things for people out there. So
Thank you, Penny, for jumping on. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I was like, I gotta get up there and upstairs. So anyway,
Awesome. Awesome.
so
Liz, I'm
thank
going to leave you. Thank you, Penny, so much. And Liz, I'm going to give you the last few minutes here to, if there's anything else that you want to say, then you've got the floor.
So yeah, I would love to say one small thing, and that is that every person on this who's been on this Zoom all day has been inspiring. I think we have all been inspired, and I think all of us, whether we spoke or not, have been inspired and inspiring and are inspiring just because we're here and together and in a moment and power of creation and inspiration from that we get from each other. I can't say how many people have said things that were like, oh yeah, like let's do that. Or let's talk to them, or let's collaborate here, or, so yay, International Women's Day. Every day is International Women's Day, and we need to keep it going and keep that love going with each other and change the world, right, ladies? We're going to
Change
change
the
the
world.
world and continue to do it.
And so thank you so much. Congratulations.